So I'm sure you've heard people in the self-improvement space talking about flow state. And I wanted to talk to you a little bit about what flow state is and the kind of two types of flow state that we can do. The whole point of flow state is that you kind of get into that tunnel vision of work where you get lost in whatever it is that you're working on right now. Whether that, in your business or your writing or whatever it is that you do, like recording videos or editing videos, you kind of just start doing it and you zone in and you kind of, you hear athletes and basketball players and footballers talk about the in the zone, right? In the zone. That is flow state. That's where you forget what time it is. And flow state is kind of meant to be one of the best possible mind states that a person can be in terms of like, it's the most joyful we can be when we're in flow state. So how do we actually get into flow state and what kind of tasks do we do that get us into flow state? So there's two types of things that can get us into flow state. There's our work tasks that we enjoy doing that get us into flow state, and then there's our kind of hobbies that get us into flow state. So I'll explain the work ones first. So for me, I guess recording these videos, I can sometimes get into a flow state. I'll be totally honest, not always. Sometimes I'm not in a flow state when I'm doing these videos, but certainly when I'm editing them and I'm doing the thumbnail creation, I definitely get into a flow state because I can just kind of put my headphones on, put a bit of music on, and I can kind of just focus on the task at hand. And before you know it, I've sort of done it, right? And that is sometimes I can get into a flow state with that. Not all the time, and you'll find that you probably won't be able to get into a flow state all the time, whether that's with your studies or with your business, whatever, tasks that it is that you have to do in your business. You're not always going to get into a flow state with that, but sometimes you will. And that is probably when you'll get your best work done, to be honest. But it's not guaranteed that we're always going to be able to get into it. And the second type of flow state is what I heard is being called low stakes flow state. So the first kind of flow state I talked to you about there is high stakes flow state, right? Because it's flow state that you kind of, enjoy being in, but you are working on something that is high stakes. It is something you care about. It's something that the outcome of that flow state matters, right? The video quality, the editing quality, the quality of the email that you send out, or whatever task it is that you do in your business, right? The flow state that you get into with that task, or whatever it is that's contributing towards your goals, the outcome matters because it's contributing towards the things you care about. So it's high stakes flow state. The second type of flow state, where it's like hobbies and things like that, that is low stakes flow state because let's take one of my hobbies, for example, table tennis. At my work, we have a table tennis table, and I absolutely love playing table tennis on there. I will literally, start playing against someone that we really like to play together, and we can literally play 4 or 5 back-to-back games and totally forget about the fact that we've ran over on our lunchtime at work. But we just enjoy playing table tennis so much that we don't care, right? We're in a flow state, we just want to play. But that's low stakes because the outcome of that table tennis match doesn't really matter. Maybe, the person who wins, or if you lose, you might get a bit of shit from the other guy for 2 seconds or something. That's kind of like the stakes, right? So it's not super important that we win or lose or do well with those kind of hobby flow state tasks. But the flow state tasks, the main ones that towards your business and things like that, they do matter. They're higher stakes. So now that you know the difference between high stakes and low stakes flow state tasks, it's kind of a bit of a mouthful that, I can talk to you about what I do. And what I do is I try and get into a high stakes flow state when I'm doing these videos, because I actually really care about this YouTube channel and I want to give you good content, valuable content that's going to help you. So I try and get into a flow state. Now, what I'll say for you to kind of help you out is whatever business it is that you do right now. I don't know what business you're running. I don't know what you do day to day. And when I say, I often do this in these videos, right? I apologize. I say business all the time. Business, for me, just means your projects, your work. That's your school work, right? I just say business because I'm not at school, but that could be your exams. That could be your A-levels. That could be your university work, right? Whatever the thing is right now that is important to you, that you need to work on, that is indicative of you progressing towards your goals, not just video games. We're talking about the work that you need to do that's going to be progressive towards your goals. Whatever that is, it's gonna probably have some kind of flow state involved with it, where you kind of zone in and just your mind clears and you forget about all the other worries or tasks that you need to do. So whatever that task is for you, the best way to get into a flow state is to first prepare to get into that flow state beforehand. That involves putting your phone on silent, preferably turning it off or just disconnecting it from the internet. And literally, my bed's next to me, I'll throw my phone over there unless I'm recording on it now. But even when I'm recording on it, I can't really hear any notifications or anything like that. I don't have social media, so you can't really hear that. There's nothing really comes through anyway on my phone. But if I'm editing a video, phone goes over there, I prepare for it that way, right? So you want to get everything super clean. You want to have a clean, tidy desk with not much clutter on it. If you're working on a computer, most of you will be. And you want to have your phone away from you, right? That is the kind of first major things that you need to do before you get into a flow state. And then you can't really expect yourself to just snap into the flow state straight away. You need to kind of start the work and get into it a little bit. I would recommend probably not listening to music. I know that sounds kind of silly, but don't listen to music. If you do this in silence, it's by far going to be the best way you can get into flow state. Andrew Huberman talks about this on his podcast, but it is like scientifically proven that if you don't listen to music and you don't have any noise, you're in silence, that is the best way to get into a flow state. So that's what I recommend as well. And then for the second type of flow states, the low stakes flow states, I just want to talk about that briefly. I want to talk to you about why I think this is important to even do, because you might be thinking now, well, you've spoke to me about the high stakes flow state, right? That's the important flow state that you want to get into, right? Where you're really working and you get into the zone on things that work towards your goals, right? That could be the gym, that could be your studies, that could be YouTube, business, whatever, right? That is your high stakes flow state, right? That's obviously more important than low stakes flow state. But the reason why I think the second type of flow state is important is it helps you clear your mind and get into a relaxation. And it's kind of like a little bit of like a dopamine detox in a weird way. So instead of being overstimulated and kind of lots of things cluttered in your mind, I'll give you an example, right, of low stakes flow state that I do. I talked about ping pong, but also drawing. So I recently kind of learned that I was good at drawing. So I've always been good at drawing, but I've not done any drawing for years, literally years. And the other night I kind of wanted to do some drawing. So me and my girlfriend were sat downstairs. She was watching some kind of TV show that I wasn't really interested in. So I wanted to do something else so that I wasn't bored, just sat there watching this TV show that I wasn't interested in. So I decided to get my pen and paper and just started doodling and managed to do this like kind of interesting drawing. I may as well show you it. Some kind of like weird monster thing, right? Yeah, don't know if you can see it. But anyway, I managed to draw that. And yeah, I've not drawn in years. And I was kind of, whilst I was drawing that, it took like 4 hours to draw, but the time went by so quick and I managed to just get into a flow state. There was no other thoughts in my mind and I was just concentrating on that and it was really fun. I enjoyed doing it, right? Really relaxing, really nice. And that is the kind of low stakes flow state, because it doesn't matter the outcome of that drawing. I could have done a terrible drawing and it wouldn't have mattered, right? Because it's not really helping me towards my goals. But I just think it's important to kind of clear your mind and to stop all the activity in your brain and kind of just zone your brain in. It's almost like training you up for being able to concentrate on things. Anyway, that was just a quick video from me about low stakes versus high stakes flow state and just a little bit of a tips on what I've done and what's helped me in my experience with flow state. So hopefully you got some value out of that and it helped you in some way. And yeah, anyway, just improve yourself by 1% every day and you'll get there. See ya.